were the conversations with Eddie Redmayne when you did Danish Girl?
I mean, we started prepping that about a year out, so he prepared full time for a year for that role, wow. Which is extraordinary. He did a lot of outreach into members of the transgender community and met trans women and men and was very inspired by their stories. But a lot of it was this idea that if you are a woman and your male self is a mask, that playing a man would feel like a kind of suit of armour he was putting on to suppress his true femininity, and then that could slowly, through the course of the movie, be broke down and we'd see the real self.
What was your toughest challenge on Danish Girl?
For me, I find like that your principal battles on a daily basis you're fighting, or sometimes your most urgent battles are actually against lack of time and lack of money, lack of resources. And yet all of us find ways to render this fight invisible. So when you see the final film, you're not aware of what the directors were really facing. It's a strange part of the job, and I think it's often why when you talk to members of the public who don't know the business, they don't understand what you do, because it doesn't seem pressured in the way that you experience the pressure.
Lily, we should go out tonight. Give them something different. Lily, you're exquisite.
You're different from most girls. I feel I'd need to ask your permission before I kissed you.
Exactly what happened last night?
There was a moment when I wasn't me.
Who's taught you the most? Has anybody given you a piece of advice?
I remember Helen Mirren, learning something from Helen Mirren. I was directing Prime Suspect for TV, and it was like one of the first days of the shoot, and I'd laid this like long track, and she came in first thing in the morning. I said, morning, Helen, and you're going to walk from here to here, and the camera's going to go like this, and there's these great perspectives opening up as the camera tracks. And she looked at me and said, "Well, why am I walking?" I said, "Well, no, because it's great, because the camera's going to go like this, and you're going to." She goes, "Why am I walking?" I said, "Well, because this." And then I sort of started to run out of steam, and she said, "I think I'd be over there smoking out the window," and I kind of thought about it and realised that actually there was no particular reason why this character would be walking, and this moment of a guilty cigarette, which is the character's meant to be giving up, was far better. So at that moment I realised that the truly great actors have a kind of mise-en-scène in their head, or they arrive on set with even ideas about where to stage it, about their character. The really great actors have a director's mind as well as an actor's mind, and from that moment on, I've always never imposed the way I'm going to shoot on an actor when they walk on set.
Tom, do you think it's the working man's medium? Those aren't your films.
Yours aren't, Tom. Yours are very highbrow.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
really just
like
called
Danny,
you highbrow.
Tom, you are highbrow.
I hope my numbers of the last two films defend me against that. No, I mean, I've always felt that I make films for audiences. I mean, I really don't make them for myself, because by the time you've finished a film, you've watched it so many hundreds of times that the idea that you would have made it for yourself. I mean, by that point, you're doing anything you can to try to re-experience your film with the freshness of a new viewer, and you're trying to get back to that. So for me, it's I've always made it for the audience and not for myself.
One memory of working on a film, one memory of a scene you've done. What would the memory be?
I don't know. You can only really think about your best moments on one movie. But there was a moment, because I'm back here in America. There was a moment on shooting John Adams when the Continental Congress had to give the vote about whether to go to war with the British. And it was one of those we were shooting multi-camera, and it was the last thing we did in the day. And it was one of those strange moments where one felt the import of the moment for the country, rather than you were shooting a bunch of actors putting their hands up, and that there was something there when I kind of forgot the theatre of it and felt very connected to that decision and its implications.